Welcome to our webinar, 5 Actions Business Owners Need to Take Right Now. We're glad that you're here today. Every business owner I know is interested in what they can do today to create value in their business. And that's what we're going to focus on. And that's what we do focus on here at Mastery Partners. It's kind of an obsession of mine, along with teaching business owners what they can do and what they need to do to make the most of their business. Most of you on now know me, but for those of you who don't, why should you care what I'm talking about? Well, I'm Tom Bronson, and I've been where you are. I've been in your seat for many years. I know firsthand the sacrifice, the blood, the sweat, and the tears of founding and owning a business. And I've made every mistake you could possibly imagine. The mistakes that you have made, the ones that you're going to make, I've made them all at least twice. I've successfully transitioned 100 businesses. And sadly, I've been witness to too many unfortunate stories of business owners who couldn't transition their business when they needed to, who could not liquidate their asset when the right time came. Now, I don't want you to go down that path, and that fuels my desire to share my knowledge and experience with you. I'm all about driving ridiculous results. At Mastery Partners, we're all about creating massive value. So in addition to telling you all about our fall mastery class, which I'll do toward the end, I'm going to give you 5 actions that every business owner should take right now to maximize the value of your business. Now, there's a download that you can use to take notes, or you can get a sheet of paper like I do. I tend to have my little legal pad right in front of me. I never know when I'm going to say something that I want to write down. You can take a sheet of paper and make your notes, but I encourage you to write down all of the 5 actions so you can put them to use right now in your business. Let's see. I'm going to ask Michael, would you mind just muting? Because I'm getting a little bit of background noise from you. So let's get going. We all come to a fork in the road, that why in the road, when we have to decide which way to go as a business owner. This happens all the time, daily, if you really think about it. You have to decide which way is best for you, your business, your employees, and your customers. I've been there too. The decisions you make today affect the future of your business. It affects your value tomorrow. That value payday may seem like a long way off, but what you do matters now. What you do now matters in the future. And when the time comes, will you be ready? Will you be able to get the maximum value for your business? I think this fork in the road has a double meaning. As Simon Sinek would say, start with why, which is a great question to ponder as you think about your ideal business state and your future transition. So let's start with these 5 actions to help you build value in tomorrow and why it's important for your business owners to take action today. Kim, would you also mute? I'm getting a little background noise from you. So I always start with this. 83% of businesses that attempt a transition fail to reach the finish line. That's right. Only 1 in 6 businesses that actually want to transition get to the finish line. Stated another way, only 17% of business owners will be able to transition on their terms. Just saying that makes me mad as hell. It doesn't have to be that way. It shouldn't be that way, and we're out to fix it. Now, I know what you're thinking. That won't happen to me. So let's talk about the 3 top reasons that businesses fail to transition on their terms. First, some businesses are just unprepared for transition. For most business owners, this is a once in a lifetime event. So if you haven't given much, those business owners haven't given much thought to what it takes to prepare a business for transition. Frankly, there are very few resources available to them when it comes to learning how to transition a business. Second, is unrealistic expectations of enterprise value. This is the number one deal killer. Most business owners don't really understand the value of their business and therefore have an unrealistic expectation based on emotion rather than facts. Third, there's no strategy in place. Did you know that 72% of business owners have no exit strategy at all? And 48% of business owners who want to sell their business right now have no exit strategy. Now, that's alarming to me, but it's really not their fault. There's so little information out there about how to prepare a business for transition. The Maximize Business Value Mastery class will help you maximize business value step by step in just a few hours each month. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. So let's take our first action and let's talk about the first action of the 5 things that you need to do. Here's number 1. Find out what your business is really worth today. It's the starting point for creating value because, if you don't know what your business is worth today, how can you take action to maximize the value of your business to reach your ultimate goal? It's kind of like running a race without a starting line. You need to know where to start. So get an opinion of enterprise value. And when you do that, make sure that valuation is based on the desired type of transition. It does make a difference for your valuation. So, for example, if your desired outcome is to transition your business internally, say to family or managers or through an ESOP, an employee stock ownership program, then the business will be valued differently than if you want to sell it to a third party. So, not sure about where to start? We can help with that in 2 ways. You can go to our website and click the button to schedule a call, or just give me a call. My cell phone is right on our website, and I'll walk you through the 2 options that we have to get an opinion of enterprise value. So let's go back to this reason why 83% fail. No strategy. Remember the race analogy we just used? Take it a step further. What if you know where to start, but the race has no finish line? You just run and run and run, and there's never an end in sight. Of course, that just sounds ridiculous while I'm saying it, but that's exactly what many business owners do. They start a business and quickly get sucked into the day-to-day operation of the business, and they never take time to develop a clear strategy, a clear, well-defined strategy. So it's not just an exit strategy, but it's a business strategy. Be sure to define the strategy so that you know where the finish line is. The second action we recommend then for business owners is to get clear on your vision for the future. Now, how can you do that? You need our future clarity mapping tool. This is something that we use and we use with our clients and business owners to help understand the future. Why? Because it identifies where you are today. It clearly articulates where you want to be in the future, and it helps you understand why that future is important to you. Finally, it identifies the capabilities that you'll need to develop in order to get there. It is a great tool. It's a 1-pager, and I would invite you to download it. I think Kim just dropped it in the notes here, so you can get a link right to that. It's a wonderful tool. So action number 2, get clear on your future. If you can visualize it, you can build a plan to get there. So Kim's dropped the link to the clarity mapping tool right in the chat box. We also have a podcast that walks you all the way through that tool. By the way, we're going to give you several links during the webinar, but if you miss one, we'll be sending an email after today's webinar that will include all of the links from today's presentations and possibly even a link to a replay if you'd like to see that. So let's go back to this reason why 83% fail. Most businesses are just not ready to transition. Business owners are typically great at holding their employees accountable, but who holds you accountable? Do you ever set goals and just lose momentum and ultimately give up on the goal or perhaps just kick the can down the street. Well, I'll do that later. Do you have close confidants in your business or out of your business that can help be a sounding board and hold you accountable for achieving your own goals, both personal and professional? Business owners need to surround themselves with the right people, people who will encourage them and occasionally have that hard conversation with them. So, action number 3 of 5 things business owners need to do right now is surround yourself with the right people, both inside and outside the company. Insiders sometimes have blind spots, and that's why it's important to have some outsiders who can offer a fresh perspective on the business. Surrounding yourself with the right people who are doing the right things will help you prepare the business for that eventual transition. Now, one way to do that is to join a peer group. I've been in peer groups for many years, and I can't even describe to you how important they've become to me and my businesses. So here are some benefits of being in a peer group. They provide resources. None of us is as smart as all of us, right? They provide a circle of trust, a sounding board to make ideas better. Problems seem easier and success seems just a little bit sweeter. They provide support, professional and emotional support, because, as I know, it's lonely at the top. They provide accountability so you can identify your blind spots, the hot spots, the soft spots. You can define all of those spots. Peer groups are just better together. The power of a peer group can make a pivotal difference in your ability to succeed, and they provide an opportunity for better mental and physical health. Don't forget, we're all designed for community. COVID-19 took that away from us temporarily. It's time to get back into community. Now, if you want to learn more about the power of peer groups, I encourage you to search Maximize Business Value, the podcast, for the episode on the power of peer groups. I encourage you to download that episode wherever you find your podcasts and learn more about it. And if you don't know where to find it, you can always ask your Alexa device to play the Maximize Business Value podcast. It'll play you the most recent episode. It's kind of fun. I do that every time I walk by it's somebody else's Alexa. So lesson number 4 is learn what the value drivers are in your business. Now, you might be surprised that many business owners focus on the wrong things that they think will create value. I think you should understand your VCR. No, not the thing with the flashing light that we used to put the, old school Netflix. Now, I'm talking about value creation revenue. Now, there is such a thing as good revenue and bad revenue. Bad revenue adds to the top line, but value creation revenue actually drives the value of the business faster. Now, I borrowed that term from my good friend David Weibel, who discovered that certain revenue actually drove the value of his business. So, do you know what your VCR is? If not, find out and then relentlessly work to improve that VCR. In our mastery class, we'll do a deep dive into value creation revenue. And of course, you can learn more about VCR with our podcast and blog posts that are on that subject. You're getting a theme going here. We talk about this stuff a lot. Which leads me to the 5th and final action every business owner needs to take right now. Now, I made a lifelong commitment to learning. That's why I read so many books and attend so many conferences and webinars. I get something from all of them. You should take the time to step back and sharpen your saw. Whether it's this mastery class that we offer or some other educational opportunity, take the time to learn and put that knowledge to good use in your business. Frankly, sharpening the saw is perhaps the best thing that you can do for your business. So let's review these 5 actions. Know what your business is worth. Get a valuation. Be clear on what the future is. What do you want to, what is the ideal desired outcome? Surround yourself with the right people, both inside and outside the organization. Understand your VCR and sharpen your saw. Now, what I want you to do is score yourself using a scale of 1 to 6, 1 being totally unprepared, don't know this, not done, and 6 being this one's nailed, right? So score yourself on a scale of 1 to 6 and on these 5 things, and then add up the total. If you're brave enough, I want you to share with us how you did in the chat. A perfect score is 30. This will give you some idea of how you're doing at getting your business ready for that inevitable future transition. So there are the 5 actions you need to take right now. And if that's all you came for today, then I delivered the results in 21 minutes, actually 16 minutes from when we got started. But that's not good enough for us here at Mastery Partners. We want you to be in the 17% Club. The 17% Club is the fraternity of business owners who have successfully transitioned their business. For you to be in the 17% Club, you have to do more than just these 5 things. We have several things that we can provide you that can help with that. So now I'm going to show you how we can help you be a 17%er by maximizing the value of your business. I see there 19 and 21. Those are some pretty decent scores. Remember this fork in the road that we started at the beginning of the webinar today? We have 2 ways, you might imagine, that you can get to the same place and be ready for your transition, maximizing business value and transition ready. Now, if you want to go down the fast lane, perhaps you've already done some of those actions. You have a trusted peer group, perhaps you know the value of your business already. You just need to figure out how to maximize that value in your business. We can help you with that. We have a 4-step process to define and execute your ultimate exit strategy. It all starts with step 1, the transition readiness assessment. That's all about understanding where the business is today. We examine over 500 points in the business to understand what's right, what's wrong, and what needs to be tweaked. The end result will be a 30 to 50 page heat map, we call it, that grades the business overall and each department separately on how ready it is as if a transition were to happen tomorrow. Some areas may be ready in your business and others may not. This assessment will tell you which is which one's ready, which ones aren't. We also provide an opinion of enterprise value. We already talked about that today, but if you do the TRA, then you'll get an opinion of enterprise value as one of the components of the deliverables on that first step. So step 1 is a snapshot in time. It'll tell you how ready you are and what your business is worth. Step 2 is the roadmap for value acceleration. That's where we take the data from the TRA, the Transition Readiness Assessment, and then we get into a deeper dive with the business owner to understand the ideal desired outcome, what it looks like, the type of transition desired, the value of the business, and the perfect timing for that transition. Since we already know where you are today based on the TRA, once we understand where you want to be, we design a custom strategy to get you there. Think of it as a Gantt chart that tells you specifically what you need to do quarter by quarter. Now we've got Michael Vizentine on with us today. If you're a big fan like I am of EOS, Michael is a great EOS implementer, then this falls right in line. For our clients that use EOS, this falls right in line. We help provide you with those rocks that you need in order to get to the next level. So that's what we call step 2, the roadmap for value acceleration. In step 3, that's the relentless execution phase, where you execute the strategy that we developed in step 2. You can do this step on your own. Think of it as sort of a do-it-yourself DIY model, or by partnering with Mastery Partners, where we hold you accountable and we execute the strategy together and we drive the results that you're looking for. And once that's complete, you're ready for step 4. Now it's decision time. Are you ready to transition? Or are you having so much more fun and making so much more money that you just want to keep going? The beauty is now you have options. And if you're ready, it's time to transition your business on your terms. Jumping right in and doing a TRA is right for many business owners who want to be in the fast lane. If, however, you simply don't have the time to dedicate to this intensive process right now, then option 2 might be right for you. Option 2 is our Masteryclass. Masteryclass is a 12-month program. It's bite-sized pieces of the TRA over the course of a year. Our next class is starting later this month, so let's get into some of the details and what's involved in the Masteryclass. In the Masteryclass, here's what you can expect. We'll meet as a group once a month for just 3 hours in a virtual Masteryclass setting. You'll be part of a peer group with other like-minded business owners. You'll have a monthly one-on-one with me to dive deeper into the lessons that you're learning and drive the results in your business. We'll build out your leadership toolbox with lessons you can apply in your business for immediate return on the investment. And you'll have access to our trusted network of advisors to help you every step of the way. Now let's look at these one by one. The Masteryclass will meet virtually as a peer group once a month, and we'll break the meeting into 3 sections. First, you'll get to know your fellow classmates as we build a peer group community and support one another in our businesses with monthly updates on how we're doing. Second, we'll work through the transition readiness assessment as a group together on the screen. And then finally, you'll add lessons to your leadership toolbox that you can put to use immediately in your business. So in the Masteryclass, we'll spend about an hour each month to work through a section of the transition readiness assessment where you'll be able to grade your business on each of the 500 plus questions of the assessment. Now, it's a self-assessment, but we're walking through it together. And believe me, I'll hold you accountable. I go back and look at your results, and I will challenge you on some of those things. By the end of the class, over 12 months, you'll have a complete assessment of your business, department by department, and you'll know exactly how your business is doing. Every business owner needs a tribe, a group of trusted folks who can provide advice, put an input in a confidential, judgment-free zone. The Masteryclass will give you a tribe of other business owners who are focused on the same things. Finally, in our Masteryclass setting, the 3rd hour, you'll learn great lessons in our leadership toolbox that you can put to work immediately in your business. We call this component the leadership toolbox section, and we invite folks to come in and talk about the various things like EOS and sales strategy and other things. What are the things you're going to get? You're going to start with productivity tools. Most people who know me think that I am wildly productive. They say, how do you get so much done? Well, I'm going to teach you those tools right in the toolbox section. So the productivity tools that we're going to talk about that first month, the Ivy Lee method for peak performance, net time, no extra time to get more done. You'll learn about intentional procrastination, which is one of the tools that I use to get more done. And you'll learn about taking massive action in your business. In the financial tools, you'll get a budgeting exercise. You will do cash flow modeling. If you don't do cash flow modeling in your business, you need to do that. You need to understand where your cash is coming from, where it's going. We'll teach you how to do that. We'll teach you how to identify those key performance indicators or KPIs that drive your business, and we'll help you identify potential tax savings in your business. In the operating tools, we'll talk about the culture index, EOS, as Michael teaches and is available through Traction, the book by Gino Wickman. And we'll talk about driving innovation in your business. We'll give you growth tools. We'll talk about story branding, about sales growth strategies, and we'll give you life planning tools. One of my favorites that's coming up in our first mastery class next month is going to be the green box exercise to preparing your life and your business for that eventual transition. Each one of these lessons, when properly implemented in your business, will give you an immediate return on investment in the program. And I should have been clicking, I guess, as I went through each one of those things. In addition to the monthly mastery class group setting, you'll also get a one-on-one with me where I will hold you accountable and we'll do a deep dive into your business, into the issues that are currently impacting your business. We'll talk about how to apply the lessons you've learned each month in your business. So think of it as coaching tailored specifically to you and to your business. You'll also get access to our panel of experts. We have built an incredible network of trusted experts that make guest appearances at the mastery classes where they'll be presenting on some of the items in the toolbox lessons. And of course, they'll offer you a free consultation on issues that impact your business. So what are people saying about the mastery class? We asked some of our current students to tell us what they think about the mastery class. Listen to this one from one of our students. As a business owner with 20 years of experience, a law degree, and an MBA, I've taken a wide range of courses on business topics, including a year-long course with the Small Business Administration and the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses course. Tom Bronson's course is by far and away the most useful. Tom's extensive personal experience, circle of knowledgeable outside speakers, and a structured approach to analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of a business show owners how to create a well-run business so you can sell it when they want to exit. Given that only 17% of small business owners successfully exit, learning how to do it from the master is a must. In my experience, none compares to Tom Bronson and the Mastery Class. Another student, I've been in the business for a while, but the accountability from Tom during our one-on-ones for me and my business really helped me and my business move forward. I highly recommend the Mastery Class. Now, I'm currently in this program and I want to be Tom when I grow up. Nobody wants to be Tom when they grow up. What's the matter with you? You want to be a 17%er is what you want to be. The class, I love the TRA process, so thorough, and I love the leadership toolbox lessons. So this is what some of our Mastery Class members have been saying about it. So let's talk about the cost of this. A lot of times people don't want to talk about the cost, but let's talk about the cost of how this works. If you bought a transition readiness assessment from us, the investment that you'd make there is between $5,000 and $15,000, depending on the size of your business. If you go out and get an opinion of enterprise value from a certified valuator, certified valuation business, those range from $4,500 to $15,000. I've seen some cost much more depending on the purpose for an independent valuation firm. Peer group programs, I'm a member of several myself. They range from $12,000 to $25,000 a year. Think of Vistage or the Alternative Board or the Entrepreneurs Organization. They're all great programs and worth investigating, but they're not inexpensive, I can tell you that. What about Toolbox Trainings? The value of the toolbox lessons that you're going to get here when you buy them separately is about $2,500. Private one-on-one coaching with me for 1 hour a month, that is a $6,000 value. And tax strategies, the assessment that you'll get is worth about $2,500. Now, we did the math. All this adds up to an investment between $32,000 and $66,000 if you bought each one of these things separately. Okay, with a value of at least $32,000, and with our desire to make this more affordable for small business owners, we've set the investment at just $1,250 a month, $12,500 a month. But for the last time in our inaugural year, because we kicked off the mastery class in the winter. Now we've gone through winter, spring, summer. This is the last class of our inaugural year. And because you're here at the beginning, blazing a new trail, we're making an incredible offer for our mastery class, our first year mastery classers, just $750 a month. And we'll give you an extra 10% off for those that want to pay for the 12-month program in advance. That's up to $66,000 in value in 1 year for just $750 a month. That is an incredible offer for those who are ready to get started preparing your business for transition and maximizing business value. Now, be sure to use the discount code TRA. Remember, Transition Readiness Assessment, TRA, at checkout and get the 40% discount. This is the last time we'll be offering a 40% discount on the program. Registration for the class is currently open, and the class starts later this month. We will, based on the class members, we will pick a day that works for each class member, and we'll set that for the next 12 months. So I encourage you to visit MBV, which stands for Maximize Business Value, mbvmasteryclass.com, to sign up for this program. There's a link in the chat box, and we'll be sending you a follow-up email with a link to this program right after this webinar. Now, look, there are thousands of peer groups, masterminds, and masterclasses that you could join. And frankly, if you join any one of them, it would be great for you and your business. But we hope you'll consider joining us for the Mastery Class, because we're all about ridiculous results, driving them, owning them, achieving them. We're all about educating and helping business owners. Frankly, that's the stuff that gets me out of bed in the morning. We're all about creating massive value for business owners, just like I have in my businesses. We're all about teaching business owners our success formula. You'll understand what your business is worth today and the things you need to do in order to get it to that next level. What you do now matters when it comes to the future of your business. So let's make 2022 count. Join our Mastery Class today. Kim's put a link in the chat to the Mastery Class registration. When you sign up, you'll also have to confirm your email address. So don't forget that step. Sometimes it goes to people's junk mail, but confirm your email address. Don't forget to click that link as well. If you're ready to get started with a TRA, there's a link on the website to get started on your TRA. If you're ready to get started with the Mastery Class, those are the two forks that we're offering. Of course, we didn't talk about it today, but there is a third fork. You could just sit there and stare down both of those paths and never take action on your business. What is the cost of inaction in your business? Kim, are there any questions out of the chat? Nothing? I am such a good explainer. Michael, do you have some questions?
Of course, I've got questions. All right.
I love it when you come to our webinars. I know you got questions.
So you were talking about, the toolbox, and I think you explained a little bit more about that. So where do those typically come from? Is that from your experience, best in class? Tell me, when you go through the toolbox, how does it kind of relate when you tell the business owners? What's your criteria?
So some of them are just lessons that I've learned through the years. The productivity tools are things that I've learned through the years. For example, the Ivy Lee method, which I did a whole podcast on the Ivy Lee method and explained how that works. I use that methodology to drive more results every day. So that's something that the Ivy Lee invented 100 years ago and still works today. But some of the other things like EOS, we'll have an EOS implementer come in. For sales strategies, we typically have Tom Neeson come in and talk through sales strategies and process and growth. I'm drawing a blank. The story branding. I've actually taught a course in story branding, and so we use those lessons. So what I'm doing is borrowing from kind of best in class tools that I've seen out in the marketplace and bringing those in and bringing experts in to talk about them. In that, we send out a great. I should have brought out one of the notebooks when you join the Mastery class. We'll send you a great leather-bound binder with Masteryclass on it, so that you can put all of the lessons from the toolbox right into that toolbox and use that. Look at that. Kim's got one handy sitting right there. So
there you go.
that is a great question, Michael. Thanks for asking it.
And then sorry, another quick question. On step 2, you talk about the drive value model, and you obviously talk about EOS, which I mean, it's so good. Thank you. Are there other models, or do you narrowly care what they do to drive the value? And I'm the same deal. Obviously, I like EOS, but from that sense, I've looked at scaling up. There's 48 days. There's several models out there. But is there a particular one, or do you say, hey, EOS is it, or whatever works that you're trying to drive the value? Kind of explain that if you can for step 2.
Great question. I typically look, we want to give them some exposure to some of those other scaling up and some of the other processes that are out there. I know that Donald Miller,
Yeah,
not the comedian, the other guy. Donald Miller has just come out with a new book that's Business Made Simple. So, but we want to expose folks to that. Frankly, I don't care what it is that you use, but you need to have a system. To me, EOS is one of the easiest systems to implement, and so we typically highly recommend that. But I don't care what the system is, but get into a system. In many of my businesses in the past, before all of these other tools were available, we invented our own systems, right? Our process for how we're going to meet, what we're going to cover, things like that. Those other books, Traction from Gino Wickman, Business Made Simple from Donald Miller, Vern Harnish's Scaling Up, they give you the framework for those. But whatever framework you choose, use the one that you're gonna get behind and implement in your business. Strong recommendation on that. Are there any other questions? Anything else, Michael, or any of the other folks who have hidden themselves from us today? Kim, is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it. I will put in my 2 cents as being a part of the Mastery class for my business. The TRA is just an amazing tool. It really pinpoints exactly what you need to focus on and work on, and what's detracting from your value, things that you don't even think are value detractors. So it's done amazing things for my business. So
that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I hadn't mentioned that, but certainly Kim is actually a participant in our very first Mastery class. And I've seen great things coming out of the Mastery class in her business as well. So, which is awesome. Those of you who don't know, even though Kim works with me, she works with other entrepreneurs and has a business. She has employees that helps folks do the kind of things that we're doing here today. Let's see. Can I talk about Culture Index more? Do you feel like, do you like it and recommend it? I do. I really do like the Culture Index, but it's one of other things out there. Again, I am partial to Culture Index. I like the simplicity of the Culture Index we actually, in the Mastery class, we invited in this year for our first class, we invited in one of the experts from Culture Index, and every person in the Mastery class took the Culture Index, and then we had an hour with the expert to kind of tear those apart and understand our own makeup. And they also offered that out to any of the leadership team. So when they did the Culture Index, they offered it out to other folks in the company for free, that you can get an assessment on those people. But there are other things too. The predictive index is a great tool to use. I'm drawing a blank on There are a number of different tools that you can use, but whatever it is, I'm a big fan of using some sort of an assessment to understand that you're making the right hires. When you make the wrong hire in your business, it is way more costly than you think. The time of training, the time of recruiting, the time of hiring, the damage they may do to your business. Using a tool like Culture Index or Predictive Index or one of the other several dozen tools that are out there available to you can eliminate those bad hires right from the beginning. I'm a huge fan of using tools like that to understand. Someone asked, what size of business is this for? We've got, this program was originally designed for what I call small business, under 10 million in revenue. But participants this year in our various classes, we've had folks as small as a few $100,000 a year, and they've gotten great benefit. And we've had folks as large as about 20 million in revenue. But these are the same lessons that we use one-on-one when we're doing one-on-one coaching with our prospective folks or with our clients out in the field. And so it's really good for any business owner, but it's really designed for folks 10 million or less in revenue. We want the peer group to solidify. I will tell you that the participant that we had was around 20 million. He's gotten a lot out of this too. And so it's great for larger businesses as well. That's a great question. Let's see. Do you just consult or do you sell companies too? Well, I'm not a broker, but I do some sell side and buy side representation from folks. I can advise you on that. If you'd like to go right to our website, Kim, why don't you just put a link to the website in the chat box again? You can schedule a call with me or call me right on my cell phone, and we can talk more specifically about that. I'm not a traditional, what you would call business broker. We sit in a space that is before brokers and investment bankers. Our focus is to get businesses ready, to give you more options. So when the time comes, we can introduce you to folks that can do those kind of things on the other side. Or we can help you if you want to do it yourself. We can help you do that. So there's a link right there, I think. Can I elaborate on the clarity mapping tool? Yes. If you've downloaded that, if you joined us late, perhaps, I don't know if you get the early chat. Kim, you want to drop that right back in? Clarity mapping tool is a great exercise. It takes about an hour to go through it, but it's one page. It gives you clarity of understanding where you are today. It helps you kind of define where you want to be. It helps you really understand why where you want to be is important. It's a very simple tool to use. And then it identifies the things that you need to develop in yourself and in your business in order to get there. So it is a tool that we use with our clients to help them get real clear about the future. But it has to start with an honest assessment of where you sit today. We don't ask for them to hand them in or give them back. But what we do ask is be honest with yourself. Because if you can be honest with yourself about where your starting point is today and be honest about where you want to be, now we can understand where that gap is. If you can understand why where you want to be is important, what are the value drivers for you, then we can identify where those gaps are and help you figure out things that you need to develop in your business. So awesome. So if we don't have any more questions, I am all about driving efficiency. And to do that, I'm going to give you 11 minutes of your day that you thought I was going to take from you. I'm giving them right back to you right now to go put those 5 actions to work in your business. And I hope you'll join us for the Mastery class or reach out to me and let's talk about doing some one-on-one and do the TRA and RVA together. Thanks for coming. It's been a great pleasure to be with you today. And I look forward to seeing you in class.